everybody, this is Freddy with FreddyCanFly, and in today's video we are going to be following up on some information on the OMP M2. I've got the V2 model here. Unlike some of the other versions of this particular machine, I think the older one had somewhat of a similar fly barless unit. However, you couldn't access any of the programmable parameters. You kind of just got what you got. You could play around with things like your DR and Expo, but you couldn't adjust, speed settings and agility settings and all those other things that we like to be able to fine-tune. Because let's be real, every pilot controls their sticks differently. And part of the enjoyment we get out of spending our money and buying these kinds of machines is we like to be able to personalize or customize how they feel so that it flies the way we want it to. Not necessarily the way a company would want you to fly it, if that makes sense. So I really appreciate the fact that we are able to now get in there and adjust and personalize the way our machines feel, especially on these micros. I mean, a little bit does go a long way on these, so a quick precaution before we proceed here, guys. I'm going to highly recommend that if you do make any changes from the default settings, do it one step at a time. Go fly it, see how it is. Chances are you're going to find that sweet spot, or you might find that one click, one adjustment maybe makes the machine to where you don't like the way it feels, and then you know that you got to go back down and just kind of settle for there. But so yeah, I've went out. I'm going to throw up some flights here pretty soon. But I went out, guys, and I literally just did a factory setup on this. I didn't change a damn thing besides what it wants. I did my basic radio setups. If you guys followed the last segment, I didn't play with any pitch values, any of the fly barless tuning parameters. I haven't changed a thing. I went out and it flew absolutely amazing. I do, however, will digress that, I am going to be making quite a bit of changes to this. I found the cyclic speed to be very slow, a little on the mushy end, whereas the pitch was just really hard to control, very fast. So I'm going to be playing around with some of that, and guys, I will share my final settings and everything in a later video once we get to that point. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at how to do the programming. Now, just a couple of things that you will need. Of course, you'll want to make sure that the machine is, of course, at a point where it is all set up by default. You should be able to take the machine out and fly it. I highly recommend that you test fly first before deciding to just jump in and start changing all your settings. Now, if you're familiar with this make and model and you have 4 or 5 of them or whatever, then obviously you don't have to heed that warning as much. But on our control unit here, and I'll get a close-up here in just a moment, there is a set button. It is recessed, so you're going to need something to poke it with. I'm not going to recommend a sharp object, so maybe don't use a thumbtack or a toothpick or anything. But I'm just going to go ahead and use my 1.5 hex tool. Works perfect. If you're out at the field or whatever, just make sure you got something with you that you can make your adjustments. And then just our radio. Now, out of the box here, this thing did come with this really long, I'm going to say less than perfectly detailed instruction manual. I mean, it kind of tells you what to do and how to do it, and I guess you just kind of overall get the gist of it. It's got a front and back side. But other than that, guys, it doesn't tell you a whole lot. So I've been playing around for a little while, and hopefully this video will become helpful to you. So let me go ahead, guys. I'm going to get a little bit of a closer angle up on this, and let's talk about how to do some of the programming. Okay, so taking a closer look here at the machine, hopefully you guys are able to see everything that's on there. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to power up. You're going to want to make sure, again, if this machine is in a flyable state, either take your throttle curves and bring them all the way down, or just make sure the machine is in throttle hold. Okay, always do that before powering up. You don't want to accidentally plug in and have this thing spool up on you or anything. Okay, so I'm going to power up here real quick and just do a normal boot up like you would anything else. You'll wait for the little song and dance and everything that the machine does. Now you will notice too, guys, and this is something I'm also going to cover in a separate video. These machines do have a self-stabilization mode, which is only active in your normal mode or depending upon how you programmed it. But you'll notice that we've got our status LED located here. You'll notice if I toggle up into my idle 1, even though I'm in throttle hold, you'll notice, well, actually I guess you guys can't really see it as good on the camera, can you? Well, anyways, it goes into a flashing mode. So flashing on this LED will indicate that we're not in self-stabilization mode, and then once I go back into normal, it turns solid. Not sure if you guys can see that or not, but anyways, moving on. Let's talk about how to enter into our programming mode. So you're going to go ahead and make sure your machine's in throttle hold again, right? We can move our collective, but no motor power. We're going to go ahead and push down our set button for about 3 seconds. Okay, this is pretty similar to like a BeastX system, and you'll notice what's going to happen is you'll get a light up series over here. It's going to start with rudder, and we're going to be able to select through all of our options, and then it'll move us to elevator and then to aileron, and it's kind of that easy. So let's go ahead and see what happens here. Let's go 1, 2, 3. Okay, go ahead and release. So you'll notice that rudder is lit up. Now it's only going to provide certain options for each segment we go through, okay? So right now it's on speed. So what this is going to refer to based on the setting here is, well, how fast you want your rudder to fill. Your pirouetting speed, if you will. The way this is set up, as you'll notice, let's count them together. We got 5 flashes. Let's wait for them to go back again. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? 5 LED indicators means that we're at default, or you could say the halfway mark. I believe it goes up to 9, so between 1 and 9, I don't even know if it goes down to a 0 or a 10, but 5 is your halfway mark. That's default. Every single setting in this system is going to have 5 flashes unless you change or alter it. And again, I did my flying already, and it's pretty damn spot on, but for somebody of my flying taste, I want some changes to be made. Now, if you wish to make a change, the way I recommend doing it so you don't get confused is wait till the end of your current flashing cycle. So in my case, we've got 5. And then you will use your elevator stick on your transmitter. You can move it up or down to increase or decrease the amount of flashes. Okay, so like right now, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go up 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See what I'm doing? So I'll wait for it to get to the end. I'm going to go down. And that's 6. Let's go back to 5. Okay? I want to keep it at default. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? It's that easy, guys. So what I recommend doing again is maybe if you want a faster tail, bump it up by 1. Go out and fly the bad boy. Really test it and then make your decisions. Should I go up higher? Should I go back down? Should I go lower? Okay, so this is it, right at the field, guys. You can do this, okay? So anyways, that's going to be rudder, our speed, so pirouetting and whatnot. If you want to move on, just go ahead and push down the set button once. Now you'll see it jumps us down here to gyro. With this setting here, again, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. This is going to be how the gyro lock feels on the tail. Essentially heading hold mode, if you will. If your tail is shaking or tweaking or spazzing out, it might be too high. If you've got a really loose, hard to lock tail, it might be too low. You guys know all this. Take in mind, head speed is going to have a big factor on gyro gain as well, and rotor disc load and all those other factors. So always make sure you go out and fly the machine. Right now we are at factory 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. I had found that the midway point on the tail, mine was so solid it actually holds better than some of my larger size machines. It's crazy. So I'm going to leave that one there. Okay, we can just go ahead, guys. This is pretty easy. So now it's going to jump us into, you'll notice this light change. We're now on elevator. This is going to have a couple of extra options. First one you'll notice is speed. Okay, that again is going to translate to the speed of the servos. And how fast you want the elevator to move forward and backwards. Again, to change the light progression sequence, move forward, up or down on the elevator stick. Okay, mine are still at 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Press the button again. Now this one gets over to, I think it says agile. I'm assuming that stands for agility. Again, increasing or decreasing this is going to change the overall dynamics and the feel. I would almost dare to say this is kind of the setting that's going to, like most fly barless systems have nowadays, where it simulates like you've got like a bar, right? Where over here is more fly barred feel, whereas over here is more computerized feel. You know, you guys get what I'm talking about. Some of the systems have that. Spirit has that. I know like the V-Bar has that. The Icon has that. So agility, I'm going to kind of say the easiest way to translate that is do you want more of that mechanical feel or more of that electronical feel? It doesn't necessarily have to affect, it might affect even how far the servos travel and things like that. So I recommend, again, one setting at a time until you guys find the right spot for you, and then, move on. And then, of course, now with this being a fly barless control system, press the set button again. Elevator has its own individual gain. So if you find that you're getting bobbles when you do elevator commands, you may want to increase or decrease. And also if you're getting aggressive or violent shaking or oscillating, you might want to increase or decrease. But I don't think you guys should have to play around with the gain settings at all, to be honest, unless you're changing things like the weight of the blades or you're really modding the heli out. Not something I would consider playing around with. And then, boom. Okay, so now it drops us down to aileron. Short and simple, right? Make sure we've got our 5 beeps. Yes. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, I'm going to leave that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now it gets a little bit different. So now we've went through rudder, elevator, and aileron in all of our sub-selections here. Paying close attention to how many light sequences are on each setting. Once we hit the set button again, it's going to now bring us back over to here. You'll see where it says servos. I have yet to find a Swashplate Leveling tool that fits this. I'm sure they're going to come out with one if they don't have it already, or I'll figure something out. Out of the box, my Swash seems to be within eyesight range, of course, spot on. When I flew it, I wasn't getting any drifts or any unwanted behaviors, so it does seem to be at its best level. However, if yours isn't, or if you do find a leveling tool and you find that it's off, or let's even say if one of your servos doesn't look like it's at a dead 90, this menu here, you can independently adjust. So if you move your aileron, elevator, or rudder, as it depicts in the manual there, it'll let you recenter or change the positioning, if you will, of the servos. But if your servos look to be at 90 degrees but your swash plate is off, you might want to even just look at adjusting your linkages. I've opened up and played with quite a few of these, and they all seem to be pretty darn uniform. And by uniform, I mean I've noticed that they all have pretty 90 servos and a level swash and a pretty equal amount of pitch. So whatever it is they're using method-wise when they set up these machines before they box them and ship them, they're doing a pretty damn good job. So anyways, that's what this menu is for. Here's servo. You can readjust your servo centers. This one's a nice feature because they didn't have this on the older one. So, and then last but not least, now caution. Right now, before you hit the set button again, make sure you're in throttle hold. Always, always, always. It even says so in the manual. Because what we're going to be doing now is it's going to drop down to your pitch right here. Similar to the Beast X system, I really, really like this method of setting your collective. But making sure we're in throttle hold, we've got access to our throttle or our collective range, right? You're going to, of course, want to double check your center position. So go ahead and go in, 50 out on your radio or half stick. If you guys can wiggle on a pitch gauge, I'm going to have a video on this here coming up soon. I'm going to actually put on my pitch gauge, and I'm going to check out of the box what my pitch range is at and everything, and let's see how close it is. But for this video, we're just looking at the programming. But in theory, let's say that you do have that perfect 0 degree pitch. With this menu, it's really nice because what you're going to do is you're going to stick all the way up. And I think it says that the default setting for your positive and negative pitch is 12.5. Now, that's a lot of pull for such a small machine. And I will tell you this, guys. Flying at that 12.5 at a high RPM, this thing is touchy. I mean, you look at it wrong and it's already 20 feet up in the air. So word of caution there. Expect a lot of collective resolution if you guys are going to keep this at the 12.5. Or, playing around with lower head speeds and stuff. But I'm probably going to lower mine down to maybe about 12. Because it is very, very touchy, guys. But anyways, what you would do is you would raise your collective up, throw your little pitch gauge on, and then you use the elevator, again, up or down, and it's going to let you independently increase or decrease pitch on the high end. Similar, again, like when you set up a B-stack system. So you'll move elevator up or down, and you'll see your pitch gauge increase or decrease. Set it to where you want. When you're done, it'll save the setting, and then you'll just go ahead and stick down, and then same thing, it kind of puts you on a separate section. Elevator stick up or down and get your desired negative pitch. Once you are done, you'll notice, if we hit the set button again, it's going to rinse and repeat, right? It's going to start us right back at rudder. With our speed flashing in a sequence of 5 LED indicators, right? So now, nothing has necessarily been saved yet, although it's been entered and programmed. In order to save it, it's as simple as this. Go ahead and hold it down, I think, for about 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Go, and then it exits out. And then at this point, guys, that's basically all there is to going through and doing the programming. Again, keep this stuff out at the field with you at all times, and make your adjustments accordingly. Make sure you test everything. I'm going to go ahead and unplug mine here for just a quick moment. It's beeping at me. I think once it remains idle for so long, it kind of yells at you. But yeah, there you go, guys. Take it out, fly it, land it, make a couple adjustments. Try not to land it and make, 6 different adjustments, and then try to fly it and then try to land it. Focus on one section at a time. That's the best thing I could tell you. Pick a head speed you want. Go out and test the machine. If you feel like your elevator is got a really fast roll rate, but your aileron is a little bit slow, just focus on one. Go in, land it, jump into your elevator settings, try playing around with speed and agility, take it back up, do some front flips, do some tick-tocks, whatever. Find the spot you like, and then do your elevator, and then do your tail. I don't recommend landing it and then like adjusting a bunch of stuff on elevator, and then jump over a bunch of stuff on aileron, a bunch of stuff on rudder. Because then if you get up and you start flying and you still just don't really like what you're feeling, you kind of don't have a good ballpark of what to play with, or what to adjust once you land again. So take it slow, take your time, get plenty of battery packs. Guys, these batteries charge in, 20 minutes, I guess, if you've got a decent charger, 15, 20 minutes. So flight time is really not too big of an issue. And then follow me on the next couple of video series, guys. Like I said, I'm going to take it out and do some test flying videos, and I'll let you guys know in a video with what my final settings are, what I like to fly at, head speeds, pitch curves, all that stuff. And then I was also going to try to make another video out of the box factory setting. We'll throw on a pitch gauge and we'll check everything, and we'll see just how reliable the setup is. But overall, guys, that's it. So get your OMP out of the box, or jump on Fatboy Heli Products and go ahead and order one up. Also, feel free to message me directly, because I do distribute them as well. So you can actually get a kit from myself. Get it out, guys. Let's get flying. Let's have some fun. So I hope this video was helpful to you. Feel free to comment and subscribe. And remember, my friends, if Freddy can fly, so can you.